Or be with Billy Connolly, who's hysterical, or hang out with Billy Crystal, who's wonderful, or Chris Reeve, who's who's the godfather of my son, and just an amazing
God, he
human
was
being.
here recently. I mean, you just...
Yeah, I mean, he's
the
just
inspiration
like,
for the sheer sense of the determination and the belief.
Yeah, well, it's, it's power of will that's carrying him through to the point where now, he does this thing. We were at dinner and he said, "Brother, watch," and he moved his finger and I went, "Okay, where's the string?" I expect him to sit up and go, "I feel time."
Yeah, I know.
Miracle! The baby Jesus put me in the house. But
and all it was
that, and that is
but
the
that's a
equivalent
journey of 1,000 miles.
Big time. It's the thing of pushing the human envelope as much as Lance is pushing it when he rides Mont Ventoux in 58 minutes.
Yeah.
And all the French going, "Oh, no big deal."
It's steroids. It's all steroids.
And they hold his, they keep, they watch him and they're there like this, and every year he keeps winning the best out of me. But, it is very important to me, friends and this kind of wonderful association of people who, like even when things, after I won the Academy Award, I picked up the phone one night, "Hello, Club Paradise. Who is this?" Click. Just comedians, friends just going, "Not everything's great, buddy. Hey, Mr. Academy Award, what happened there?" Click. They bust you hard,
Yeah.
But that's part of it. That's part of the drill when you have friends like that.
I mean, it would think that comedians may have a certain brand of friendship because...
Oh, it's tough, but it's a tough love.
Because it's a tough love business. And because in the beginning, everybody was hanging out at the club, just watching and learning.
Yeah, and you were there together, and then you kind of go...
A shared pain.
Oh, yeah, a mutual. Here we are there, dead men walking.
Yes.
Dead men talking. It's like that thing of, and then it kind of, you go your separate ways, but you'll see people and go, "Oh, what's up?"
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. Like I saw Richard Pryor a month ago. He came up and he wanted to go see not San Quentin, come back. He wanted to see Alcatraz, and we took him to the island. It was amazing.
You took Richard Pryor to Alcatraz.
Yeah, and he got him off too.
Yeah, but he just...
He wanted to go see it. And it was amazing.
Did he call you and say, or just somebody said...
"Robin, get me to the island. I want to go see the island."
You know San Francisco. I know you do, brother.
Yeah. "Take me to the island."
You know Willie, too. You can get
Willie
Willie to
Brown.
open the door.
Willie Brown!
Yeah.
Willie Brown, hardest working man in show business. Willie Brown, working up. "Brother, please, I want to say that it's an honor." "Yo, sister, please." Willie Brown, working the room. Yeah. But it was so good to know him. And Jonathan Winters, he came up. The weird thing is, for Jonathan, his wedding anniversary is September 11th.
Yeah.
Rough day. So
right.
I took him to a Giants game, and it was so great to have he and his wife up, and he had a good day. And for me, knowing him, meeting comedians like Jonathan, Don Rickles, oh man, that's just, and you stand and you're like a little kid. A brother, but more like uncle, or like the master, the sensei, Buddha.
Yeah.
When around Jonathan, it's like being around the great one.
Oh, I remember when...
he did a great thing. A man was kissing a woman in front of us, and they were doing it for a long time, and he leaned over and said, "He's sucking the ugliness out of her." And not so loud, John. But you hang out with those guys, and you can't help but feel, and someone like, I got to know Rod Steiger before he died, and for me, the stories, you want to get that stuff on tape sometimes, so people could hear all the stuff that, these guys have gone through, like Walter Matthau, and meeting those people, or the few times, once or twice I met Billy Wilder, that there's such a gift that they give you this kind of sense of history, but, like a knowledge born of, great history, like Walter being in the Battle of the Bulge, and Steiger
Walter Matthau was in the Battle of the Bulge?
Big time.
Right.
And Steiger was on a destroyer. Serious?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. And these guys will tell you, and those stories alone, you're like this, and then they'll tell you, being in plays and doing movies, and then it's this amazing thing, because all those guys who came out of World War II kind of went into acting as kind of like this thing you do on the GI Bill.
Yeah,
like
right.
Steiger said he went to an acting class because he heard girls were there.
Yeah.
It wasn't kind of the theater's going, "There's chicks."
I know.
It's crazy. I don't know what the two of them
I think a lot of actors got started that way.
I think so too. And comics too. Yeah, what's that girl doing? Hey, hey. It's like the old guy, the comic making level. That was wonderful. What show did you see, first or second? Yes, that thing. But
no,
that for me is a great,
very old.
Old joke. Yeah, bring it back. I remember that joke from 1929.
But the same thing is to be said. Do you ever? I think about like Winters. Somebody ought to be sitting with him and having a forever conversation about recording. I got a call last night from a friend of mine saying, "I just had this happens to me a little bit, and I don't have time to do as much of it as I ought to." And somebody said to me, I had the most amazing dinner last night. And he named the guy that he had dinner with. And he said, he's got the most fabulous stories about the beginning of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, you have got to talk to the guy.
You got to. And you got to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get it down on, you know, in some medium that won't go away.
Yeah.
You know, something. I remember. But, you know, you hear from all of them and they tell you stories that you're just going, oh, my God. And it's, you know, it's like hearing the first, you know, the audition tapes of, you know, Jimmy Stewart. Line. You know, you want to hear all these things and, you know, and they tell you stuff that you just, that's hysterical. And, but also powerful, you know, coming through the Depression, you know, making movies and, you know, being in movies with, like, people that they, you know, like Bogart talking with, you know, Don Rickles and all these people, and there's this amazing interaction. And meeting Brando. I got to meet him once.
And?
It was insane. It was wonderful to see him just to go, Robin, this man. And I'm just going, oh, you know, there he is. You're going, I don't know, it's crazy. Give me butter. But he's an amazing guy. All of these guys have so much to tell and teach, and that's, Brando actually put together an acting class and, you know.
Oh, and put it on tape.
Yeah.
Have
so,
you seen
I think,
didn't he get guys like you to help him?
Yeah, people came and showed up. But I think here's what he's doing is kind of doing what you talked about, giving back and, you know, saying, kind of sharing what he knows. And sometimes he'll ramble on and say, I don't know what that means. but he's saying, sometimes he'll just say something, you go, whoa, it is that kind of Buddhist moment.
Yeah, you do have it. I mean, there are moments in which you just say.
Yeah, there is a Zen Cohen, you know. Exactly. And then there's Sam Cohen. And then there's a time when show business in those days, there was no movies. We were just doing this in front of a cave wall. How many Cro-Magnons does it take to light a fire? And it was all of this stuff that they tell you. Yeah, I think you have to get it on tape. And it helps to have people just, you know, being like a catalyst and just letting them go, because they'll tell you stuff, and then they want to tell you stuff, you know, and it's important because it's almost, it's like the verbal record or verbal and visual both, because they light up because you see them talk about it and they just remember it, and and it's like, oh yeah, baby.
To have an audience again.
It's even an audience or someone, it's the audience again combined with, and remembering it again, and it's a wonderful thing.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I went today to the funeral service for Roone Arledge.
Right.
Roone Arledge changed news and sports television, as you know, as well as I do. I don't think he ever did a great interview. I mean, I tried to get him here, and he didn't, you know. And then Bill Paley never did an interview. Two people right there who had huge impact on the industry that I worked in. Never, you know. And it's just, the stories like that are legendary.
You know, you want to hear the story of, like, Cronkite on the air when, you know, Lyndon Johnson said, you know, get him off, I want to talk to him. You know, that thing, you know.
Or Lyndon Johnson's watching him, and you basically said, if Walter's against me, we've lost the war.
Oh, yeah.
And then, did somebody call up Walter?
Oh, that was that famous rumor about Johnson that he said when he was running for governor in Texas years and years ago. He said, I want you to spread a rumor that my opponent has sex with chickens. He said, Lyndon, we can't do that. He said, I know, I just want to see him deny it. You know, that's Southern politics.
That's good.
You know, you got a great tradition of that under the Manson-Nixon line. That's where you get those politicians.
The Manson-Nixon line.
Yeah. What was the governor of Louisiana, the last governor? The guy who got busted.
Oh, Edwards.
Edwin Edwards. Who said, like, one time they said, isn't it true, Governor Edwards, that you took a bribe for $10,000? He said, that's ridiculous. I've never taken a bribe for under $100,000. It's like, that's that, you know, the Huey Long School of Diplomacy. Put it out there. Don't be afraid.
Edwards also said, there's no jury will ever convict me in Louisiana unless I'm found with a dead woman or a live boy.
Yeah, bingo. We're talking it out now. Because, you know, Louisiana right there, we vote everything. Just move on down there. That's why we could burn something, burn a piece of chicken and sell it up north as etouffee. Down here, it's crisp. It's burnt. Up there, we say blackened. Yeah, the burnt. We burn it up. Turn your lower track into an e-ticket. Everything be flying out your ass. We send it up north and say, oh, good Cajun cooking.
Oh, yeah, it's Cajun.
Oh, no, Cajun. Put everything in the mix there.
Blackened.
Jambalaya. 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 Just like roadkill in a pot.